And then these stories have gone out to over 100,000 young people and first responders.
Wow.
And yeah, so it's, I mean, you said at the beginning, it's your baby. It's like it, back then it was, but now it's just, it's got its own life and it's amazing. Now we're in a totally different place. The arts is perceived now as being a valid recovery option, you know, alongside sports and adventurous training. And now I know the MOD uses it, military charities use it, and that's what is so wonderful. So some people still don't get it, but that's okay. You know, we've got enough evidence. All our work is independently evaluated. So I can either put an evaluation in front of someone's eyes, or I can just say, go and speak to that person over there who's come and got involved and see what they say.
Nice.
It's wonderful.
Great.
It's great.
And so talk to me about Making Generation R, which is also your baby.
So well, off the back of the Two Worlds, Blesma had seen it, and Barry, the then chief exec Barry Legree, and said, you know, we want to do something with the arts for recovery for our people, and can you come up with some ideas? So I came up with some ideas, and it had to have 3 parts. One which was about upskilling. The second was about giving the Blesma members an opportunity to share and give back to their community. So actually, let's say there's 2 parts there. So I came up with some ideas, and they said one of them was about taking a Blesma member story, teach them how to tell their story, and going into the community and allowing them to give back and have and show people that, you know, there are different ways you can get over adversity and challenges. And Swifty, Darren Swift, who is on this series, he and I have been friends for years. He was in Charlie F. And so he and I went and workshopped this at a hostel in East London. And so Swifty told his story, and I did a workshop around adversity, and we were laughing about it the other day because no one really spoke English. But actually what happened was something really, really magical. Like, we brought all of these people into a room and we did some exercises, we played games. Swifty told his story, which just sort of, for those who understood it, like, it broke down the ice. But and it all ended, and just, it was a really wonderful day. And obviously we did some more testing. And so that's when the idea came up. And, you know, since then we've trained up, I think, nearly 75 Blesma members to tell their stories.
Wow.
And then these stories have gone out to over 100,000 young people and first responders.
Wow.
And so it's, I mean, you said at the beginning, it's your baby. It's like it, back then it was, but now it's just, it's got its own life and it's amazing.
So the podcast, Alice, how did that come about, growing out of Making Generation R? Obviously standing for resilience, for anyone who hasn't worked that out yet.
Yes, exactly. Making Generation R. So making the next generation of resilient people. So we'd obviously taken these stories out far and wide, but we kept having more people saying, please, can you come and tell your story to us? And what's so great about Blesma, they fund the whole project. All of these workshops and talks are free for schools and first responders. But outside of that, it's hard for other people to access it. So I was chatting to Cy Harmer, who does a podcast with Carol Vorderman, and he came up with the idea of doing a podcast so that these amazing people and stories can be heard by more people around the world, hopefully. And then we just thought, let's team them up with a well-known figure and put 2 individuals together who you might not have necessarily ever thought would come together, and to have a conversation around life and challenges and how they've overcome it.